Thank you for tuning in. This is DJ Fobfresh from SegaShiro.com, the Sega resource, and today we're looking at Vancouver 2010. Available on the Xbox 360 and the PS3, this is the official game of the Vancouver 2010 Olympics. It was published by Sega, of course, and developed by Eurocom. Rather than thinking about this game as a traditional sports game, it's more of a collection of mini-games that are arcade-style. As an Olympic title, there's a great deal of countries represented. All of the suits and costumes that you would see in the actual sports are presented here rather nicely. There are 14 main events that you can play through in this title, as well as a whole challenge mode, which are more arcade-styled, fun challenges to unlock achievement points or trophies in. Probably the biggest problem in Vancouver 2010 is that most gamers will spend a lot of time sort of thinking about what this game isn't. And that is, it's not a traditional sports game in the sense that you create your own athlete or you follow a career mode. Really, you're just given the challenges. These challenges you perfect through trial and error and repeated play. The gameplay is probably best described as being both addictive and frustrating. So really, when you're playing this game, it's really easy to kind of feel like, okay, I'm just going to take one more go at it and I'm going to get gold this time. And on the flip side of that, it's really easy to just suddenly be like controller-tossingly angry at it. As you can see from the screens above, the presentation is a little bare bones. I mean, all your standard options are there. You can play through your Olympic Games and the different challenges there. You can play them via System Link, which is a nice touch. But really, where I found a lot of fun was in the challenge mode. In challenge mode, we're essentially the one-player portion of the game. And this is where you go in, you're given a specific challenge, a set time to beat. These are a little more Sega quality, they're a little bit goofy. You kind of run in, you complete the challenge, and you immediately get those gamer points. In fact, that's probably the strongest thing about this game, is getting trophies or gamer points. So sort of any game that you play, if you beat the challenge, you get the gamer points or the trophy. If you get gold in event, you get the gamer points and the trophy. And so really, through extended play, this is a title that you could definitely get the full 1,000 or full trophy list. When you add the online leaderboards, what you're really getting and what Sega really worked towards here was creating a online variant of the Olympics. So essentially, you're going out there and you're competing against other gamers. You're also competing against yourself in Ghosts and different modes like that. So that's a nice touch. It sort of fits the mood, fits the gameplay style. However, many gamers will look at this package and want more. With only 14 events, it's very easy to get caught up on what this game is missing. I know many Canadian fans will be disappointed to know that there isn't a hockey game in this Olympic title. Being specifically Canadian, hockey is one thing we hope to get a goal in, and it would have been nice to see it. Obviously, that would have required a whole different engine, and that might have not been easy for the team to accomplish with the budget in hand, especially when there's other games like NHL 10 out there. However, with the only 14 activities, things like curling, games that appeared in Mario and Sonic in the Olympic Games don't appear here. However, the ones that do appear here are very high quality. In terms of sensation of speed, graphics, and sound quality, this game's actually quite stellar. Playing it in 5.1, hearing the sound whip across the wind, specifically the wind when you're racing down a hill, just gives you a rush. And so that, in that sense, this game was successful in creating that atmosphere, creating the Olympic tenseness, the challenge. While the first-person perspective is probably one of the best I've seen in the game, the models are actually quite nice as well, if a little bit standard. When you play the different costumes, you're using essentially the same model. The animations are lifelike, but it doesn't go above and beyond by any means. On the presentation side of things, Sega's gone very, very subtle. There's not a lot of options here. One thing that really annoyed me was kind of both during gameplay and in the option screens, you couldn't actually find a list of the songs that were used in-game. The music tracks are actually pretty good. However, to actually find out which ones were playing when, that was a little more difficult. You either had to go watch the entire credits or go into the manual. And kind of that's something that like an EA game would get right. Kind of while the tracks are playing during gameplay, the song list would just come up. Ultimately, Vancouver 2010 is a fun but flawed game. Gamers that are going to get really into this title, try to go for gold in every event, will find it very enjoyable. Gamers looking for more of a simulation mode will look here and see a rather shallow package. Now, the game did launch at a decreased price point. It launched in Canada at $49.99 instead of the usual $69.99. So in that way, you're getting a bit of a deal, but however, I'd say maybe at $10 less, so at $39 or $29, this would be a far better pickup. That said, BC never looked so beautiful.